Hello everybody and welcome to the channel Out of Ammo, Out of Time. I'm your host Krabby Terror 8 and here we are in episode 10. Yes, can you believe it? Episode 10 of the Investigator games Eldritch Horror Edition. Yes, and for those of you who are new to the channel, I welcome you wholeheartedly. If you're wondering what the Investigator games are, well, it's like the Hunger Games. Think of it like that. We take each investigator true solo and we put them through different Arkham Files games. I'm doing Eldritch Horror, Elder Sign Omens, and also Arkham Horror the card game. So we take each investigator true solo through, we see how they go, and then we put them in a table like this one. And we can sort of see how they perform. And by the end of the season versus Azathoth, so we're taking every single of the Eldritch Horror investigators through, and there's a lot of them. We can see how they go, and at the moment we can see Lily Chen and William Yorick. Nobody's won. It's very hard to win this game solo, particularly with all of the red tentacle cards, but that's fine because it's not about winning, it's about relative performance, if you like. So at the moment, William Yorick and Lily Chen have done the best so far. Last week we saw Dexter. Dexter unfortunately didn't do too well. There was just too many cards conspiring against him, and unfortunately he nearly got a mystery, but unfortunately had to wait till the end of the Mythos Phase, and he went insane at the end of the Mythos Phase, so that didn't happen. So here we are with Charlie Kane this time. And Charlie Kane, yes, the politician. Let's just have a look at him and who he is. So, as I said, he's a politician. Got his big cigar there. Looks like he's going to do a radio speech. Very Churchillian looking in this picture. You expect him to go, "We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them in the air. We are British and we will never surrender." Anyway, but I think he's American, so not quite. So his stat line, not surprisingly, is high on influence with a 4. So he'll be able to get assets, no problem. Observation is reasonably high, but his law and his strength and his will are pretty average, to say the least. So he's going to be relying on those assets. He isn't the healthiest of individuals, judging by the amount of cigar smoking he's doing. His physiological index is only 4, but mentally, as you would expect from a politician, he's pretty strong. It can be arranged. It's just a matter of acceptable terms. So that's that side of Charlie. Let's have a look at this side. He starts in San Francisco. He starts with a personal assisted asset. We'll have a look at that. We will ignore the stuff on the right because it's just him. And this is his backstory, his personal history. When the press asks if Charlie is planning a run for national office, he smiles and says he's focused on the important issues. Gee, some things don't change, do they? The truth is that he would love to launch his campaign, but right now the most important issue is preventing the end of the world without causing a panic. Yeah, well, priorities. It's good that he's got his priorities straight. To do this, he's been calling in favors across the country. Calling in favors, huh? Most recently, Charlie stopped in San Francisco to visit Hearst Castle. With the help of his friends and his finances, Charlie believes he can fix this problem without sacrificing a single vote. And I'm assuming that Hearst means some kind of reference to William Randolph Hearst. And when I think of that, I think, of course, Citizen Kane, and I think of the castle in Citizen Kane. So that's where my mind goes when I think about all that. So this is a man of influence in high places. I guess William Randolph Hearst was sort of like the Rupert Murdoch of his day, I think would be the best way to think about it. I don't know much about him in detail, but that's kind of how I think about it. So there we go. Yes, interesting character. So here's our personal assistant, which gives us a stat boost. We get a permanent, as long as we've got the personal assistant, +1 to our influence. So that gives us an influence of 5. And we can re-roll 1 die when resolving an influence test. So it's influence, which is a slight problem because he is a bad influence, so his actions are all about giving other investigators advantages. So another investigator of your choice may immediately perform an additional action. Well, there aren't any others. And when you perform an acquire asset action, you may allow other investigators to gain any cards you purchase. So I suppose in a multiplayer, Charlie Kane can be incredibly helpful in terms of acquiring assets for other people. But the problem in this one is that there aren't other people to do. So he's not really for solo play. But that's all right. We'll give him a go and see how he goes. It's just that I suppose it makes it a little bit easier. We don't have to worry about his own personal actions and things because they're for other investigators, which don't exist. So there we go. So Charlie Kane all set up 4 and 8. So the next thing to do is to go around the houses, of course, and just set everything up. Now, we don't need to change this. I've already organised the Mythos deck, the lovely Mythos deck. So we'll just shuffle these up a few times. We'll put out some assets, which is the thing that we usually, the higher level assets for most investigators are a bit of a stretch, but for Charlie, not such a big deal actually. So what have we got here? I haven't seen some of these. So we got patrolling the streets. When you defeat a monster with toughness 3 or more during a combat encounter, you may discard this card and retreat the doom by 1. Okay. Sanctuary. When you gain this card, you may immediately discard 1 condition. Nice. I'm going to be getting these. Occult Scripture. When you gain this card from the deck or reserve, gain 2 clues. Whenever you gain a clue during a research encounter, spawn a clue. Wow, really good. And Gruesome Talisman. Looked a bit like the Terminator when I pulled it out. Looked a bit like that, but not quite. You may add 1 to the result of 1 die when resolving a will test during a combat encounter. All helpful. I think the thing with Charlie is just to shop every turn, just have masses of stuff, because I think that's the way we're probably going to stop ourselves from being in a bind. I'll just shuffle all these up. Now with the expedition, I'll do this 4 times to see where we're going. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the expedition starts in. No, that's Rome, isn't it? Yes, that's Rome. Okay, so we'll put the expedition in Rome to start with. We'll just shuffle up the other world encounters, and we'll shuffle up all these various lovely afflictions and dooms and banes. Doom's already on 15. Here we have the research results, or the research cards. Whoops, that just flipped over, but do that sometimes. And here we have the good old mystery cards. Okay, let's shuffle these up and flip the first one. So what are we starting with this time? The true name. Fragments of Azathoth's true name exist in long forgotten tomes. It is said that if a person speaks his name aloud 3 times, the blasphemous sound will grant the speaker great power. When this card enters play, place a number of Eldritch tokens equal to 1 on a random space. Okay, so let's do that. Let's find a random space. Clues. So what's the random? It's 1. It's a 1, which is actually very close to us. So we will put an Eldritch token on space number 1. There we go. Space number 1 is right up here, right next to us. Wow, that could have been in a better place actually. Okay. So let's keep reading. So when the card enters play, place an Eldritch token on a random space. As an encounter, an investigator in a space containing an Eldritch token may attempt to find information about Azathoth's true name. He may pen 2 clues to place that Eldritch token on this card. At the end of the Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to 1, solve this mystery. Well, well, well. Now that shouldn't be too difficult, because if we can get the occult scripture, that will get us the 2 clues. So we could do this very fast as long as we get this occult scripture. That's pretty good. Okay. I'm liking them odds. All right. Excellent. Well, there we go. That's the first mystery. Okay, so it's now time to have a look at things like the gates and the monsters. Just move across a little bit here. So let's draw a gate. And we start with gate. What do we start with? Shanghai, quite a way away. Monster. We start with a moon beast. Ooh, I don't think we've had one of these before. Let's have a look at this. You may discard 1 item possession instead of resolving the strength test. Well, that might be something we might do. But I'm assuming if you don't resolve the strength test, then you can't do... you obviously can't do the moon beast any damage, but anyway. Alright, so the moon beast goes on Shanghai. Okay, so there's the moon beast. So the next thing we'll do is we will put a clue out. So we'll shuffle up the clues, and the clue we get is Shanghai. Well, there was a bit of serendipity or not. Everything's on Shanghai. What are the odds, eh? It's all happening on Shanghai. There we go. So that's the clue there. Okay. So there's all the clues. So I think that's all we need. I think we are ready to go with Charlie Kane in the Investigator games on turn 1. Crowd goes wild. Watching from all over the world. It's being beamed across the world via satellite. See how Charlie goes. Starting here in San Francisco. And of course, where we start is that we get 2 actions here in San Francisco. So I think the first action that we do is that we are obviously going to go shopping. So, yeah. So we're going to go shopping. So we are an influence with our personal assistant of 5. We've got 5 here. Yes, we do have 5. We do have 5 dice. So let's shuffle them up and see what we get. Shuffle them up, and we get 1. Is that right? Oh my goodness, we only get a 1. But I think with the assistant, we can re-roll 1 dice. So let's do that. Oops. Whoops. So let's keep the 6. I can't believe we only got 1 success out of all that. That was pretty lame, actually. Let's shuffle up again. We can get another 1. We don't. I am going to take a debt condition. I know that I shouldn't have to, but I am going to take a debt condition, which gives me 3. Because I can get rid of the debt condition relatively easily. And I will take the occult scripture. So I get the occult scripture. When you gain this card from the deck or reserve, gain 2 clues. So I'll get 2 clues. 1, 2. Doesn't matter what they are. Let's put the clues over here. There we go. So we gain 2 clues. So there we go. That's the second thing that we do now. Oh yeah, we've got to put a another asset on here, and the asset is a conspiracy theorist, another ally. Definitely worth having. Why not have a personal assistant and a conspiracy theorist at the same time? Very nice. Okay, so we will do all that again. That was a bit of a disappointing roll for old Charlie. I would have thought he'd have more influence than that. Was our first action. Now we could, as a second action, get rid of this debt condition. I'm wondering if we should I think we should. I think we've got some time to get this Eldritch token, and I'd rather not have the deck condition. So the deck condition basically says test again. If you pass, you can get rid of the deck condition. It's a local action. So 4, 5. So we'll see how we go here. So we'll test on this. And of course we pass. So we get rid of the deck condition. Too easy. I'll just stick it here. Alright. Well, I'm hoping we won't need to use any more deck conditions in the future. But anyway, it was fine. Okay, so that's our 2 actions here in San Francisco. So we move into encounter, and what do we get? Oh, improve. Okay, so let's go. Let's see what happens in San Francisco. San Francisco. Oh dear, it's law. You dream of a native man dressed in bearskin. He speaks an odd language. Law. If you pass, his words guide you and you get a talent condition and you improve a skill of your choice. If you fail, you fall into a shimmering whirlpool and gain a lost in time and space condition. Okay, so it's 2. Oh dear. Still, 2's better than none. Let's go ahead and shuffle them up. And yes, indeed, we pass. My goodness, that was lucky. If you improve 1 skill of your choice. Well, I think we're pretty good on influence. And I think if we get this conspiracy theorist, our observation will be pretty good. So it's strength, law, and will that's the things we should be looking at. Whoops. I don't know. So law, strength, or will? Which of those 3? Well, probably strength, because that's probably where we are weakest. So rather than leaning into what we're strongest on, I'm going to go the other way, and I'm going to lean into what we're weakest on and shore up our weakest things, particularly when you're in solo. You know, it's hard to just lean into just the strength. You need to be a better all-rounder. So we've upped our strength to 3. So whilst we've been in San Francisco, we've managed to work out in the gym, and we've done that. So there we go. That's the end of the encounter phase. So of course we move into the first Mythos phase. Here we go. It's all coming apart. Yes, and it's a red tentacle one, so it's a perfect start. Okay, so let's start with putting out a clue. So here we go, 20, which is, of course, Australia, I think. Is that right? But it's not 21, so it must be here in Australia. There we go. So the clue is in Australia. And then next we put a exclamation mark on Arkham. Let's go ahead and put a rumour in Arkham. And we need 3 Eldritch tokens. There we go, 3 Eldritch tokens. Okay. Okay, let's go and stick these up probably on, they go on Arkham? No, probably not actually. Well, let's read what this says anyway. Levana Watley has returned to Sentinel Hill and she means to bring about the end of the world. Oh, okay. Song of Spheres, ongoing rumour. As an encounter, an investigator on Arkham may attempt to counter the horrid ritual Law -1. Oof. If he passes, he or she may spend clues equal to 1 to resolve this rumour. When the omen advances, the lead investigator may spawn 1 gate. If he does not spawn the gate, discard 1 Eldritch token from this card for each gate on the game board that corresponds to the current omen. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, investigators lose the game. So when the omen advances, the lead investigator may spawn a gate. Okay. If he does not spawn the gate, discard an Eldritch token from this card for each gate on the game board that corresponds to the current omen. Oh, this is really awful. This is a really awful card. Oh my goodness. This is really awful. Wow. Okay. So that is going to be a tough one to deal with. Anyway. Problem is that our law is not great, and I'm not sure. Are there any? No. Will. No. So that means we'll be rolling a law, and also we would need a clue. Spend clues. Okay, so there you go. I mean, it's in Arkham, so it's not very far away. That's something. But getting the clue. So we have a choice here. We can resolve this rumor as quickly as possible, or we can resolve the mystery as quickly as possible. I'm not sure which one is the better idea. Because I can imagine with this one that we're going to end up with a ton of gates. So either way, it's going to be very nasty. But the problem is that our law is only 2, so we're limited in what we can do. So what I should probably do is try and get this first mystery, see if I can buy up a few items from the reserve, and hopefully in the process we can get something that's going to give us law. I wish I'd boosted my law now rather than my strength, but you don't know before till after, as they say. So there we go. That's really going to focus the mind. Okay, so that's the end of the Mythos phase. That really did throw things out. So anyway, let's keep going. So what we're going to do now is, let me have a look here. Is this a city? It is a city point, so that's fine. That's good. Okay, so we're here in San Francisco. So I think what we do is we move to here where the Eldritch token is. So I'm just going to remind myself as an encounter, may attempt to find and spend 2 clues. Yeah, okay, that's all we have to do. So my first action is to move there. Second action is to go shopping. So we will do the shopping thing again. So that's 5 dice. Hopefully we do better than last time. Let's roll them up. And we don't. I don't believe this. We get 1. We're really rolling very badly here. Oh, we can roll another one again, can't we? Yes, of course. So we will keep the 5. We'll bring out this one and we'll roll it up again. And we get a 5. Okay, so we get 2. We get a 2, so that's something. So we could take another deck condition, which would give us 4. And then we can take the Conspiracy Theorist. I think we should do that. So we get the Conspiracy Theorist. Gain +2 during research encounters. Roll a die on a 4, 5, or 6. Gain a clue. That's great. And also, do we get the Gruesome Talisman for combat? Do we get Sanctuary? No, we can't. Or do we get Patrolling the Streets? I think we get the Gruesome Talisman. Okay. Going to need all the help we can get here. Every Gruesome Talisman, every ally, everyone we can. We've taken a deck condition, but what the hell. So the Gruesome Talisman gives us add 1 to the result of 1. Right, okay. All right, and also that means we can pull out some more things, and I'm hoping we might get something that helps us with law. Let's have a look here. When you gain this card, immediately gain 2 talent conditions. And this one here, when you gain this card, gain a clue, and 1 monster of your choice on any space loses 3 health. Well, that's actually quite good, but no. Okay, so the problem is, I think we're going to need to amass some focus tokens or something, because we're going to need to try and get rid of this rumor, which I think is going to cause us a few problems. Okay, so that's our 2 actions. So we move into an encounter phase, and as an encounter phase, we can spend 2 clues. So we can spend 2 of the clues. Let's put them in here. And we can spend 2 clues and put an Eldritch token on this card. So we now have the Eldritch token on this card, and I think all we have to do now is at the end of the Mythos phase we solve this mystery. So there we go. That's the. I don't think there was anything else we do in the encounter phase. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. That's done. So as long as we survive to the end of the encounter phase, which I'm sure we will, we're done. Sorry, I just realised we're in turn 2. I forgot to click that over. I'm sure you've been all screaming at me about that. Click over the thing. Okay, so that's the end of our encounter phase. So things are looking good. But we move into the Mythos phase. Flip this over and immediately. Okay, so first thing, the Doom track goes round to blue. I don't think there are any. There's only red at the moment. Now, let me read this again, because this says when the omen advances, which it just did, the lead investigator may spawn one gate. If he does not spawn the gate, discard one Eldritch token from this card for each gate on the game board that corresponds to the current omen. Well, there aren't any, so actually it's fine. There aren't any, so actually it's not quite as terrible as it sounded, but anyway. So that's that. The next thing is we do some reckonings. Now, there's no reckonings. The Moon Beast doesn't have a reckoning. So I think we have some reckonings here. So the reckonings are as follows. Conspiracy theorists roll a dice. On a 4, 5, or 6, gain a clue. That's pretty good. Let's go. And we get a 6, so we get a clue. Wow. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so we get a clue. How many clues do we need for this? I think we just spend 1 clue. Yeah. And the other reckoning, of course, is the debt. So men have come. We've got to deal with this. Dark summoning. You were warned that failure to fill your obligations would have far-reaching consequences. If only you'd realised just how far they were willing to go. Spawn a gate unless you spend a clue. Then discard this card. Oh, okay. Do we spawn the gate or do we spend a clue? Well, I'd like to get rid of... we're going to end up with 3 gates, but I think we just go ahead and do that. So we spawn a gate. So we spawn a gate at the pyramids with a goat spawn. That's at a ghost spawn. Okay. There we go. So that's the deck condition. Oops, deck conditions over there. Back down here. Sorry. There we go. There's the deck condition done. So there weren't any other reckonings. No. Okay. And then we spawn another gate. So unfortunately we've got to spawn another gate. And the second gate is Antarctica. Quite a far way away from us. With a cultist. Okay. Okay, Antarctica with a cultist. Okay. The flowers in your hotel have begun to wilt at your touch. The dogs in the street now whimper and cringe as you pass by. No matter how elegantly you dress, strangers look upon you as a leprous beggar. This is not good for Charlie. Lead investigator gains a blight condition. Okay. Deal, restriction, pursuit, boon, bane. I think it's probably here. Search for a blight. Oh, it's the first one. Here we go. Blight condition. So what did we get? Blight condition. When you gain this card, discard an ally asset. The allies around you surround yourself with, act erratically and without cause. Flip this card. Oh, that's the worst condition we could have got. So do we get rid of the conspiracy theorist? Or do we get rid of... I have to say the personal assistant is probably who we would get rid of, because the other one's too good to pass up. Okay, so we need to try and... can't get rid of the block. Oh, yes, but I can, I think, because I've got this somewhere here. When you gain this card, you may immediately discard a condition, so that's good. Okay, so that's the end of our turn. Sorry, the end of the go. So there we go. That's good news is, and I just realized we didn't... Oh yes, it's the end of the... Sorry, it's the end of the phase. So we can get rid of this token, and we can resolve the first... I'll keep that on there. There we... Oh no, you get rid of that. That's right. And we have solved the first mystery. The true name. Crowd goes wild. After only 2 turns, we've already solved one mystery, which is more than most can say in this. So we will shuffle them up and see what we get second. And our second one is the Seed of the Demon Sultan, which is probably Tunguska. Yes, a strange green comet has fallen from the sky. Even after impact, the meteorite continues to slowly burrow itself deeper into the earth. When this card enters play, place a mystery token on Tunguska. As an encounter, an investigator on Tunguska may attempt to search for signs of the impact. If he passes, he discovers a strange green meteorite. He may spend 2 clues to place an Eldritch token at the end of the Mythos phase if there are Eldritch tokens. Okay, so that's over in Tunguska, which is a bit of a way from us, but actually no, it's not. It's not that far away at all. So here we have a choice now, ladies and gentlemen. We could attempt... So there's 2 things we could either do. We could get rid of this, look to get rid of this rumour. So what we would do is we would get to San Francisco, probably get a rail ticket. And then we would head over to Arkham, or we say bugger that, we are going to just going to head over to Tunguska. And I'm thinking that that might be the thing to do. We just need to have 2 clues, and this is the Investigator games, and speed is of the essence. So the thing is that it's probably better to do that than mess around trying to deal with something where the chances of us rolling the correct law. So we would have to get over there from where we are now. That's going to take us a couple of turns. Then we'd need a couple of focus tokens. Then we'd need to be lucky. And by that time, we could have solved this other clue, because all we have to do is do an observation. And with our conspiracy theorist, we have a really good chance of doing it. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to go shopping here. I'm going to go shopping again because I want to get rid of this condition. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to go shopping. So it's 4 this time. We've lost our personal assistant, but we have 4 here. Personal assistant thought we were just too blighted, and I can't believe this. How bad is our rolling? Seriously, we passed nothing. That's fine. We will keep moving, and we will move on to this point here. So next time we can move over. So we will take an action here in wherever we are, somewhere in the Siberia or somewhere, I think. Yes, indeed. Okay. Our rolling has just been horrendous. I can't believe we've had all those rolls and we've hardly had any 5s or 6s. So we are in the wilderness here. So we do an encounter. Just checking my cards just to make sure. Yeah. Okay. That's during research encounters. I'm not sure is that a research encounter? No, it's not. Okay. All right. Okay, so all right, let's grab one of these, flip it over. We are in the wilderness, and it says a tall figure wearing a crown of antlers stands silhouetted against the moon. It wants you to let its children enter your lands. You may gain a promise of power condition. If you gain the condition, spawn a monster on each named city space. On each named city space. Whoa, no way. Promise of power. What is the promise of power? Each named city space. That's a huge price to pay. That's too tough. Sorry. I'm not doing that. It's just that not having, yeah, that, you know, that would just be, yeah, pretty horrendous. All right, that's the end of our encounter phase. So next time we can get onto Tunguska, and we can spend a clue, I think. No, spend 2 clues. So we're going to need to get ourselves another clue. Hopefully with the conspiracy theorist we can get a clue, or we can find a clue somewhere anyway. Oh yes, we can get one in Shanghai, I guess would be the other place to get it. But anyway, let's see how we go. So that was the encounter phase. Let's see what the Mythos phase has for us. And again, the doom track moves around to red. And indeed, there is a red here. So Shanghai, not the pyramids, and not Antarctica. So the doom moves down by 1. When the omen advances, the lead investigator may spawn a gate. If he does not spawn a gate, discard 1 Eldritch token from this card for each gate on the game board. Okay, well, let's get rid of her. Let's do that. Okay. Are we in turn 2 or turn 3? I think we're in turn 3. How many of these have we had? We've had 2 of those. So you get 1 at the end of the first turn. Oh no, there's 3 of them. Get 1 at the end of the first turn. Second, yeah, we should be in turn 3. So that's the first thing. So we're down to 2. We could lose the game fairly easily this way. And then we do the reckonings. Are there any reckonings on the board? I don't think so. I don't think there are any reckonings on the board. That doesn't do any reckonings, even though it shows it on here. I'm pretty sure, no. So there's nothing on Azathoth for the reckonings. So let's see. Conspiracy theorists, 4, 5, or 6. We get a clue. Come on, conspiracy theorists. Let's go. Oh, yes, we get a 5. So we get a clue. That's brilliant. We've now got our 2 clues. Perfect. But also this flips. For an instant you see evil in your friend's eyes, resolve 1 effect of your choice. You can gain 1 mana's condition and flip this card, or you can lose 3 sanity and impair that. Oh boy, I think we... wow, this blight is nasty, isn't it? So I think we gain a madness condition. Okay, so what do we gain? Hunger. When you perform a rest action, you cannot recover sanity. Roll 1 die and a 4, 5, or 6. Discard this card. Test if you fail, flip this card. Oh boy, okay. Wow, getting some nasty conditions here. Okay, so that's the reckonings. Not too bad. Okay, so then let's spawn the old gate. Which gate do we spawn this time? And we spawn Tokyo. Wow. With a spawn of Sabak. Each investigator on this. Okay. It's very close. All right. Okay, so that's the end of turn 3, but we've still got to read this bit out. In your darkest moment, your compatriots find a way to help shoulder your burden. Each one finds a way to make sure that you never have to suffer alone. In the midst of such horrors, this thought alone provides you with some solace. Together we stand. The lead investigator loses health equal to his current health, unless another investigator as a group loses health equal to this. The lead investigator loses sanity equal to his current sanity, unless another well, oh, that's no good. I tell you what, I'm just going to put my health and sanity down to 1. That's what I'm going to do. Because we don't have anyone else. So I'm just going to say our sanity and health is down to 1, which is not great, but that's what we're going to do. Okay. All right. So we will move into turn 4. We've had that card before. It's a very, very nasty card if you're playing solo. And it's not traded as being, so anyway, so we will just take it as it is. All right. So it's our turn. So what we're going to do here is we are going to move to Tunguska. That's the first thing that we're going to do. Maybe we should rest. That might be a good idea. Yes, I am going to rest. However, it says here, when you perform a rest action, you cannot recover sanity, but we can recover health. And then test will. Oh no. Then roll a die. On a 4, 5, or 6, discard this card. Okay, let's roll it up. Come on, 4, 5, or 6. No. All right. Then in the encounter phase, we are going to do this. As an encounter, an investigator may attempt to search for signs of the impact of the dead forest. Okay, so it's an observation. It's not a research encounter, it's just an encounter. Okay, so we've got an observation of 3, so we've got a pretty good chance of doing this. Let's go. Let's shuffle these up. And yes, we pass. So we do pass. We do succeed with the research encounter. If he passes, he discovers he's going to spend 2 clues. Yeah. Put an Eldritch token on the card. And I think if we survive the Mythos phase, we have solved this mystery. Wow. Charlie, you're doing really well under very difficult conditions. You're blighted, you're hungry. Yeah, you can't seem to buy anything, but you're managing to do okay. All right. So there we go. So that's the encounter phase. So we move into the next Mythos phase, and again, the Doom track moves around to blue. Now we have got 1, 2, 3. So this moves down by 3 to 11. And also, when a moment advances, the investigator may spawn a gate. If he does not discard it, well, we can't do that. We'll lose the game. So we've got to spawn a gate. And we get another red once in Rome with a carrier night gaunt. Okay, that can carry you around if you want. Okay, onto Rome. All right. Okay, there's now a monster surge, and the monster surge, there's a few of those. So we're going to have monsters all over the place. So we'll start with Antarctica. Antarctica gets another cultist. Next, Tokyo gets another cultist. There's 2 on the Tokyo. And there's one other. And the pyramids gets a skeleton. Okay, whatever. All right. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of gates, and then we spawn a clue. And the clue is at the pyramids. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. You are not just at war with otherworldly creatures, you must also face your own fear and despair. Every sign and portent warns of inescapable death. Each defeat seems an inevitable certainty. In this game it certainly does. Beginning of the end. When there are no Eldritch tokens on all Rumour Mythos cards in play, or there are no Rumour Mythos cards in play, each investigator loses sanity. Then discard this card. Discard one Eldritch token from a... Ooh, wow. Well, anyway... If there are no Rumour Mythos cards, Rumour Mythos, and there are no, well, we've lost the game anyway. But that's just another. That's going to accelerate things further. That means every reckoning, that will, yeah. Oh boy, because the reckoning at the bottom is discard one Eldritch token from a Rumour Mythos card in play. Oh my goodness, we are really racing against the clock now. And we can't lose any more sanity as well, so we're really on the edge here. But however, that is the end of the Mythos phase, which means that we have solved yet another mystery. Wow, Charlie is doing really well with 2 mysteries. Let's see what the final one is. The final mystery, it would be a miracle if we got this. Not the voice of Azathoth. Most musicians describe this 18th century Italian opera as unplayable. It comes as no surprise that the composer was executed for heresy. Sorry, let me just move that off there. When an investigator would gain an artifact, he may gain the Massa di Requiem de Chagay artifact instead. At the end of the Mythos phase, may spend one clue. So if we can get it, where can you get artifacts again? There's somewhere. Defeat monsters, improve that. There's one location. Improve. Spawn clue tokens. Gain incantations, improve. I thought there was rituals. I thought there was one. No, I must be imagining it. So the thing is, how do we get artifacts? I think usually the way is to pop over and do the expedition, which would be here in Rome. There's a lot happening in Rome though. I don't know how else to get an artifact unless one of these allows us to. I think, yeah, the best way is to. Artifacts are always really, really hard to get, and there doesn't seem to be easy ways to. I thought there was a location that helped you get artifacts. I must be must be misremembering. Okay, so getting that artifact is not going to be easy. It's never easy to get an artifact, but anyway, we will give it a go. So we're moving into turn 5. So we're here in Tunguska. So I think the first thing to do is to move to a city location. Do we do that, or do we rest again? We can't shop there anyway, so we could move to a city location and we can rest again, which would give us 3 health. We can improve our sanity, but we can try and get rid of this hunger again. So that's on a 4, 5, or 6. Okay, let's try and get rid of this hunger. We do, so we get rid of the hunger condition. That's good. Okay, got rid of the hunger condition. Okay. That's the first thing. We've got one other go. So we'd rested. Now we could, we moved, didn't we? We moved and then we rested. So that's our go. So we're in an encounter. We're in a city encounter place. So let's get a city card. Let's flip that. Hopefully it gives us a... You try to convince a notorious grifter, yes, to teach you some tricks. Yes. Yes. Influence of 4. Let's do it. Come on. Oh, that was weird. Anyway, we got 2 6s, so we passed. If you pass, he takes a liking to you and shows you how to deceive and avoid being deceived. Improve your observation. Okay, well, we did probably observation is something we didn't need to improve, but anyway, there we go. We've improved our observation. Excellent. Would have been nicer to have gotten an artifact, but anyway, that's better than a kick in the pants. All right, so we move into the Mythos Phase. I hate to... Oh, it's another rumour. Oh my goodness. Let's just see what this rumour says. Another rumour. So we put out a clue. And the clue is at 3. Where's that again? Oh, down there. Okay. So we move... Where is it? There we go. So there's the rumour. No, there's the clue. Then we put a exclamation mark on London. Yeah, okay. And we put 2 Eldritch tokens. Oh, this is bad. This is so bad. 2 Eldritch tokens. It's just rumour after rumour on here. I hate to think... Oh, and this has got red tentacles as well. Perfect. So let's see what this says. The distortions radiate outward from London. Something in the vast history and magic of those streets is the root of these tears in reality. Eye of the storm. After an investigator closes a gate, he may spend a clue to place an Eldritch token on this card. As an encounter, an investigator on London may search for the cause of the instability. If he passes, he mends the tear in reality to solve this rumour. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, investigators lose the game. Discard an... Oh. Right from this card. Oh my goodness. So, well, actually, we can... That's not too bad for us, but, wow. Okay. Lose the game. There's lots of lose the games things here. All right. So we move into turn 6. It felt like a bit of a reprieve. We really are on borrowed time here. And I really don't know how we're going to get a well. What is this like? How bad is this carrying up? Oh, it's not too bad actually. Because if we can get that, do we need anything else except the artifact? Oh, we need a clue. It's kind of high stakes. I don't know how else to get a clue. So, or we can do the shopping. Maybe we should do that and get rid of this condition and see if we can... Well, the first thing I'm going to do is... yeah, and the problem is we're really low here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go shopping. See if we can buy something. 5 or a 6, and we get a 2. Which means we can get Sanctuary, which means when you gain this card, discard a condition, so we can get rid of the Blight condition, which was a real blight. And I think we discard this card as well, and we put out a new asset, which is Newspaper Report. After resolving a research encounter, you may spend 1 clue. Retreat the Doom by 1. It's really, we really need something to try and get a... Anyway, that got rid of that condition. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rest 4 and 2. Because if we don't, we're 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay, so that's our 2 actions. It's really hard to know how we get these. Anyway, we will do an encounter on here, on a city spot. City. You do what you can to alleviate the city's widespread poverty influence. Okay. If you pass, the citizens greatly offer to share their knowledge and gain a talent condition. How about a artifact? Okay, so that's another 4. Let's shuffle them up. Yes, so we pass, so we get a talent condition. Talent. Okay, what do we get? During an encounter phase, you may test that. If you pass, you may choose an encounter as if they're... Oh, okay. Well, that could work for us because we if we're going to go on this expedition, we need to kind of avoid monsters. So there we go, if we survive that long. All right, so there we go. That's the end of that. Let's move into the Mythos phase. And, oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, this moves round to green, which means this moves down by 1 because there are no other green ones here. Now that means if I'm looking at this one, when no omens advances, lead measure may spawn a gate. If it does not spawn the gate, discard an Eldritch token from this card for each gate on the game board that corresponds. There aren't any green ones at the moment, which is lucky, super lucky. No. Okay, so we don't have to do that. And now we get into reckoning. Is there any reckonings? I don't think any of the monsters are particularly into reckoning here. I think this one here, but I think you just have to be on the location. Yes, so that's no big deal. So, and they're no big deal either. So that's all fine. So then if we go to these cards, discard an Eldritch token from a Rumor Mythos card in play. So either of these. Oh, well, it has to be this one, because if it's the other one, we will literally... Oh, we don't need to do that. We can just delete them. Yes, so that's that one. And then this one here is discard an Eldritch token from this card. There we go. So things are getting really bad. And then here we can get a clue on a 4, 5, or a 6. So let's use this here. Let's roll it up. Oh, we get a 3. I don't know what was going on there. Sometimes it's very strange. Anyway, we got a 3, so it didn't. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then we spawn a gate. And we get another red one, so that's in Arkham. Along with the Rumor and the monster. And we get a flying polyp. Move the sponsor to the nearest space containing a gate. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's read what it says. The loose consortium of international spies and mercenaries have begun to notice the growing threat posed by the servants of the Ancient One. They may be of help to you, but you'll never find them without making some sort of bargain. Lead investigator may gain an agreement condition to advance the active mystery by 1. Now, that sounds good, but advancing the active mystery by 1 is putting a... What would that be? That would be... so we would put a clue on there. That's what you would do. Yeah. So you would put a clue on there if you wanted to do that, which I'm going to do. So I am going to take a clue and I'm going to put the clue on there. So that basically means we don't need to... That's the clue, so we just still need to get the artifact, but at least we've got the clue. We get an agreement condition to do that. There we go, there's the top agreement condition. So I think that's worth it. Local action, test that. If you pass, you may spend 2 clues. Discard this card. Okay, all right. All right, so that's the end of that phase. So we move into turn 7. We're really running out of time here. I think if we're going to get this artifact, we need to get it now. So I think it's a bit do or die. So the first action is I'm going to take a rail ticket, and then I'm going to spend the rail ticket to get to Rome here. So we are in Rome. So that's our 2 actions. That's the first thing I'm going to do. This is to try and get this damned artifact. Our second action is I'm going to use this elusive, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and bypass the monster so I can go straight to the encounter. So we test 4. Observation. And we pass. So because we tested 4, we can do, but we've got to flip this card. So we got 2 6s. That was right, wasn't it? Yes, we got 2 6s. So 1+, your fear of being caught has you in a constant state of high tension, and your physical well-being suffers because of it. Gain an injury condition unless you discard this card. Well, I'm just going to discard the card. I don't need an injury condition. So we'll just discard the card. It was worth it while it lasted. So that means we don't have to, we've avoided the monster there, the Carrier Night Gaunt, and we can go straight to the expedition. So that's what we're focused on. So we're going to do the expedition as our encounter. So the expedition here in Rome, and let's hopefully this works. I don't know if it will, but anyway. Okay, you're granted access to Passetto de Borgio, the passage that connects Vatican City to Castel Sant'Angelo. You carefully examine the walls of the secret walkway to find access to hidden chambers. Observation, so that's good. We're good on observation. So we'll roll that up, and we completely fail. You don't see where the robed cultists came from, but you'll fight to overpower them. We've got a fight of 3. Fight of 3. Yes, yep. If you pass, the Vatican guards escort you to the rest of the way, and you experience strength. And the experience strengthens your resolve, improve your will. Wow, okay. But not quite what we wanted, but anyway. Okay, so we will put that back, and we will move the expedition encounter to the Amazon. Okay, so we didn't get an artifact from that, but we got something from it. Unfortunately, there's no artifacts. No. Advance the active mystery by 1. No. Okay. Well, that was disappointing. So I was hoping we would get an artifact from that, but again, artifacts are really elusive in this game. So we can try and get over to the Amazon and give it another go, but that's the end of our encounter. So we move into the Mythos phase, and again, this moves around. The Omen moves around to blue. There are 3 blues on the table. Yep. So this goes down by 3, so we're down to a doom of 7. And then because of that, as an encounter investigator, after investigator closes, oh no, wrong one. I don't think it actually matters because we're going to lose the game anyway. As an encounter, an investigator I may attempt to do. When an omen advances, the lead investigator may spawn a gate. If he does not, discard Eldritch token. So let's just do that. Let's just, yeah. We've got to spawn another gate. This one in San Francisco with a Knopf K. Does that go somewhere else? Move it to the Himalayas. Yep. Okay, so we stopped that one from flipping. Not that one, this one. Okay. But then we do the these effects here, the reckoning effects, and well, immediately discard an Eldritch token from this card, and we lose the game. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It was a heroic run from Charlie Kane. 7 turns. The doom is down to 7. Unfortunately, we got stymied by trying to get one of these artifacts, which are notoriously difficult to get. I was hoping that we would get that from the encounter, but we didn't. I'm not sure if the next encounter would have given it to us either. No, I don't. Yeah, there's nothing there either. So clearly they don't all have that. Anyway, so it was a heroic attempt. We didn't quite make it, and I'm wondering whether actually we should have done all 3 of these, not just 2 of them. So we should have done the top one, and we failed it. So I'm actually thinking we shouldn't have done any more of them. So actually we should have failed it generally, and we shouldn't have gained this extra insight here anyway. So yeah, because we got an extra... Oh no, we shouldn't have got this extra law. Actually, I think I played this wrong. I'm sorry. I think you're supposed to go through this, and you have to get all through if you to get to the final piece. So anyway, it didn't matter. It didn't get us anywhere. It didn't get us the artifact we were looking for. But we ended up with 2 mysteries done, which was more than I expected from Charlie. He did really well. He was kind of lucky in a couple of ways, but also it really helped having people like the conspiracy theorists out, things like that, and the occult scripture. So things went pretty well for him all up. So thank you very much for watching. Next time, we'll let's see which investigator we'll be doing next time. Shuffle them up. Next time we will take Patrice Hathaway, the violinist, through the Investigator games, and we will see how she goes. But until then, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Krabby Terror 8, and goodbye.